So I'm up camping in one of my favorite spots in the Huron National Forest, and I mentioned in a previous video that I'm building the ultimate survival truck, which I'm doing with my 2022 Toyota Tacoma off-road. I've already done a few things to it. I've upgraded the suspension, I have new tires for it, getting new wheels for it, got a Diamondback cover, a rack system, and a decked system in the back. And I thought about doing a rooftop tent, which is something that I still might do. Now obviously there are some advantages to a rooftop tent, being that it's mounted to your vehicle, so wherever your vehicle goes you have shelter and you don't have to trailer anything. However, there are some disadvantages, one being when you set up camp, if you want to take your vehicle anywhere, you pretty much have to tear down the camp, stow away the tent, and then you have your vehicle so that you can travel. Now what I decided to do in the meantime is pick up a pop-up camper. I got this on Marketplace. I got a really good deal on it. I paid, I think, $2,700 for it. And although it's a 2004 StarCraft, it's in immaculate condition. Everything is in great condition on this camper. And so I'm calling this the Bugout camper. Another pro to this would be that, I can have multiple people in it. We've taken it camping. I had the whole family in there, so we had 5 people in there. Slept 5, no problem. Plus, in the cooler months, it has heat, and in the warmer months, it has air conditioning. So I'll give you guys a walk around on the outside before I set this up. All the lighting works, which is great. It's got a new spare tire. It's got new tires on it. All the, panels and the caps and everything are all still in great condition. Up top, it's got a Dometic air conditioner. It's also got this uni-rack system. It did have some bike supports on it, but I took those off. I am going to be adding solar panels, some flexible solar panels on there so that I can keep the battery charged, which is right here. It is a brand new battery as well. Now that will run the lighting on the inside. It'll also run the heater and the refrigerator. The refrigerator is actually pretty awesome because it can run on 12 volt, 120 volt, and also off propane. So it does have a propane tank on the front. You can see it even has the cover for the propane tank. No leaks at all on this thing. The body of it is solid. The frame is really solid. The canvas is really solid, as you'll see in a moment, and the bedding and everything on the inside is immaculate. So I think I got a pretty good deal on this, and I've started to rig this up as a bug out trailer. So something to consider if you've got a family. A camper is a great way to be able to bug out and have heat, air, refrigeration, water, for example. It's got the water hookups. Now it doesn't have a bathroom, but I have a portable bathroom, no problem. It's got the water in and out. It's got a water tank in it that's actually never been used. It's got the 30 amp service that pulls out from there. Unfortunately, where I am in the forest right now, right here on the Ossabaw River, there is no power hookup. There's no bathrooms or anything like that. This is in the middle of the forest, so although it is a campground, there is no utilities, but it is free to camp this time of year. That's why I love coming here. So let me get this thing set up, and then I'll show you guys the inside. All right, so I got the pop-up all set up. It only takes about 15 minutes. It's really easy to set up. And, something like this is just great for camping, for bugging out, winter, summer, hunting trips, fishing trips. So let's take a look at the inside. I'll walk around the outside real quick again. There is an awning up here that comes out, which is really nice. It's in pretty decent shape. As I mentioned earlier, the canvas is all in excellent shape. It's not even faded at all. All the Velcro is good. All the stitching's good. No tears, rips, anything. No tears or rips in the mosquito netting. And then, of course, you got the battery and the propane tank under there. Again, no rips, tears, or anything in the screens. This is my little outdoor temperature sensor. I just hang it there so I don't forget it. Backside, again, if I had 30 amp service, I could plug it in there. I could fill my water tank. There's the exhaust for the heater. Here's your controls for the fridge in there. And we got the other side. And I usually bring my cooler, even though it's got a fridge. This works as a fridge freezer, and it just works awesome. So it's Nice to bring it along. I could store this inside or outside, or I could kick on the fridge on the inside. As I mentioned, again, it works on 12 volt, so it could work off the battery. Propane if I wanted to waste propane, but I'm saving that for heat. Or if you're plugged in, it'll work as well. Now the battery does charge when you're hooked to the car, which is cool. So I just have it loaded up with some drinks and some meat, veggies, some dinners and breakfast, some eggs in there. Got this little pop-up bucket. There's some cut bait in there, some nice stinky cut bait. I am going to throw out a line for catfish tonight. So maybe we can get a catfish catch and cook. That'd be sweet. So on the outside here, there is an outdoor light. Works fine. Door is in really good shape. Screens go up and down on that. Step is in really good shape. Fire extinguisher. And I'll kind of start from the back here. This is a full bed, and there was no smells whatsoever in this camper. It's never been smoked in. It smelled like nothing when I got it, so I was really happy about that. But the first thing I did do is take these covers off and wash them, and the foam underneath still had the plastic on it, so there was no staining or anything like that, which is awesome. I've got my VanQuest bag, which has all my clothes in it. I usually pack my clothes in that. All the skirting around the top and all the drapes and everything are in perfect condition. All the screens and the tent, the plastic tent is all in perfect condition. Then you've got kind of the kitchen area here. I just have a SOL collapsible sink in here. Obviously it does have a sink. I don't have water hooked up. I don't have water in the tank since we're going to get some freezing temperatures. But it's cool that this fits right down in there so that I can wash dishes or whatever, and then I can just take it outside and pour it, so I don't have to get any water in my drains or pipes or anything that might freeze. Just got some wipes and sanitizer. On the last camping trip, my mom bought me some towels, so thanks, Mom, for that. Got some Jiffy Pop on here. This stove is practically brand new. It's only been used a couple times, so that's in really, really good shape. Propane stove. And under here we have the furnace, and this is a Dometic fridge. Again, it can be powered 3 different ways. It does cool down fairly quick within a couple hours. There's no condenser on these. I think they use chemicals to cool. So it does take, a little bit of time, but I have tested it and it does work. Underneath the flooring here, there is all vinyl, but there's this carpet that's cut for it, so I just left it because, tracking in dirt and it's easy to vacuum. In here, you can see the vinyl there, and there's just storage. I usually put food stuff down here. I do have food up on the counter right now because this is what I'm going to cook tonight. But lots of storage down in there. There is also a propane line in here that can feed out the side that you can hang a grill on the outside, and it did come with that, and that has never been used, which is awesome. Got a little TV. I've got my little EcoFlow, and that is currently running the fridge outside. It only says 11 hours left right now because I just kicked it on and it's cooling down, but once it cools down, that's going to jump way back up to like 48 hours. It's drawing, close to 70 watts right now. Again, I'm going to get solar so that I can hook it to the battery in the camper, and then, I can recharge the battery in the camper during the day and use it at night. But there are outlets. There's an outlet there, outlet underneath there for when you're plugged into the 30 amp service. A couple drawers here, just have some games for the kids, and just some odds and ends for the camper, some fuses and stuff. In this one I've got different lanterns, got headlamps, flashlights. This is kind of just going to be the junk drawer. Up on top there is 2 lights. I did replace the bulbs that were in here with LED bulbs, so it's much whiter light than the yellowy light that was in here, so I replaced both of those with LEDs. This is the air conditioner. Works great, blows good. The cable, or the cord to it, is right here. That just unhooks, and then it actually goes all the way over here and down, and then it plugs in underneath the table here into that outlet, which is rated for hooking that up. Here we have the main breaker box that turns on and off the AC, and then the rest of the camper, and then all the fuses for the 12 volt thermostat. The thermostat does work great. Got my water pump. That works great. Then I've got the dinette here. A nice dinette. My mom actually slept on that. You can put the table down and then put the cushions over and it makes another bed. So you've got a full bed over here. Another maybe twin size right here. And then you've got a queen size over here. So I've got all my bedding set up over there. But it's nice that you can turn this into a bed. And then you have storage underneath here. Actually, the water tank is under here. The power cord is under here. The inverter and everything is under there. Under this one, you do have storage. So you just pop the cushions off. You can see the plywood's in really good shape. All the plywood underneath the bed and everything is all pristine. So I don't know how much this was used before, but I jumped on it, especially for the price and for how clean it is. But under here you have some more storage. So I've got my Lifesaver water filter jug there, so if I needed to go down to the lake and get more water, I could, and that would filter it. Got the partition for my cooler, got a fan, and I've got my portable camp toilet. So that's that. Then over here you've got another counter with storage underneath, and then under here I just have all paper goods and bags, tinfoil, cups. You can access that from both sides. What's nice about putting it here is that I can just, if you're at a picnic table or something, or a table set up, I can just grab bowls and plates when I'm cooking right from here. So I've got some trash bags down in there. So that's pretty much it for the inside. Nice big counter on this side. So I'm real happy with the condition of it. And again, it sleeps, you know, 2 there, 1 or 2 here, 3 there if you wanted to. So my whole family, this is perfect. It's easy to pull behind the car. There's no height restrictions. And then, of course, you've got the air, the heat, the fridge. And I've got my here's the little temperature sensor here. So it is currently 61 inside here. I just turned this on. 55 outside is what the outside thermometer says. So we'll see where that goes tonight. I do have a carbon monoxide detector in there. Now, there is one right here. I believe that's what that is. But you're supposed to have a light on it, and the light doesn't come on, so I haven't played around with that yet. So, yeah, that's the Bugout camper. So let me show you around camp. I love this spot. All the spots are great. Overlooks the Sabo River. Got my catfishing set up there. I'm going to put that out tonight. Looks like I can just, some of the sites are lower than others, but I can just scoot down there and set it up down there. Is a fire pit, and one of the reasons I picked this site is that there is a fallen tree right here, so there is more than enough firewood to burn. Don't have to go looking for it. Brought my chainsaw, and there's tons of wood I can cut up right here. These sites are quite big. Going to be an awesome spot. You can see just after about 10 minutes or so, this thing's already down to 37, which I have it set at 38, I believe. Throw that over in eco mode. So I'm real excited to show you guys this deck system. It's a drawer system that fits in the bed of most pickup trucks, including the Tacoma. I'm going to do a full video on this probably while I'm here. But I have a ton of gear stored in there. All my camp cooking and sleeping and shelter. All sorts of stuff in here. So you guys will see a full video on this drawer system. Another thing I always bring is my Hidden Woodsman stuff, no matter where I'm going. I always bring this stuff. I've got the haversack here, which if I wanted to go do a trail walk or something, I could certainly do that. Inside here, I have a little sewing kit, a tinder pouch, knife, little toques, pot and pan, or 2 pots, I believe, pot and cup, a tarp, and I've got the smaller of the Grawl water bottles that fits perfectly down in there. Then I usually always put the little Hidden Woodsman survival kit right up top. I'm going to start a fire, so you need that. But that's what goes in the haversack. Then in this little utility pouch, this I store just a ton. It's like a junk drawer again. I've got tarp clips, I've got tons of paracord, I've got reflective line, non-reflective line, Dyneema line, I've got snow stakes, I've got a ton of regular Sea to Summit stakes in here. I think I've got like 12 of them, like these. So a bunch of just cordage, odds and ends in there. I want to set up a tarp or throw some guy lines on the awning of the camper, which is what I did when we last went camping. It was really windy, so it was good to have this because I threw some guy lines down and nothing budged. In the survival kit here, I have Swiss Army knife, has a saw on it, a nice blade, some sharpening materials, some, of course, Pro Camp Tech fire starter, which also is the sponsor of today's video. I'd like to take a moment to thank our longtime channel sponsor, Pro Camp Tech. I've been using Pro Camp Tech products for years and know that when I need it, I have a dependable, weatherproof way to get my fires started quickly and easily. Pro Camp Tech fire tinders are non-toxic, eco-friendly, and don't lose potency over time. They are simple to use and ultralight to pack, saving precious space in your kits. Check out the link below to grab any of their fire starting products, including Ultimate Fire Tinder, Fast Fire Stick, fire plugs, or their fire strip roll. If you want the most reliable, weatherproof fire tinder on the market, go prepared with Pro Camp Tech. Then in here I've got just some more odds and ends, a compass, some more tinder, a lighter, a sparker, some more fire starting stuff. While I still have light, I think I'm going to saw up some of this wood. So this should be plenty of wood for tonight anyway. I just cut up some of the scraggly stuff. Even cut myself out a little chopping block. Gerber sent me this little hatchet I've been using in my last 2 camps. Works pretty well. I already chipped the blade a little bit. So not the hardest steel, but something that doesn't cost a whole lot and you can beat the crap out of it. Pretty sure this is some pretty hard oak, so see how it does on this big old monster. It's already got a little crack going in it. Wow. That was because of the crack. Some of these dry leaves out of the way with a pine broom. Sticks going. Grab one of my click chairs here. 2 of them in this little pouch. I'm gonna get a bunch of this hardwood going because I'm gonna make some chili tonight, hopefully over the fire. So I want to burn hot and fast and get some good coals going. I wanted to show you now that the cooler has caught up. I switched it over to eco mode. And that changes things completely with your battery bank. You can see we have 36 hours remaining. Just running that fridge off that little power bank. So I'd rather run it off that than use the built-in battery. So like I said, I'd rather use the built-in battery for my lighting or for whatever else I need, and I have the other fridge as a backup. So I got some diced tomatoes, the zesty chili style, some kidney beans. I'm going to try out this wood-fired chili seasoning. Got some hot sauce. I'll add some water to it, and then I got some stew meat that I'm going to cook up first. So while that fire's burning down, I'm gonna get a catfish rig set up here. Got 2 different rigs I can try out. Let's start with the one I pre-made. So basically, all this does is you have a hook, which I'm gonna tie that nasty cut bait to. Then I've got about a 3-foot leader that I'm going to put 3-ounce pyramid weight on. I've just tied a circle on the end of this so I can just loop it through there so I can switch my weight right quick, and then there's a 3-way swivel, and that I'm going to tie to my line. Since it's supposed to be pretty cold tonight, I don't know if I'm going to have to run the heat, but grab this little get out gear down puffy blanket. Alright, so I've got a down blanket. One of the other nice things about having a camper is you can bring actual pillows and actual bedding. But this is that down puffy blanket. It'll puff up. Nice and portable if you guys are looking for a nice priced puffy blanket. Check out Get Out Gear. I'll put a link down below. And then of course I have another blanket, so should be good. Right now it is 50 outside and 57 in here. I'd eat that if I was a catfish, wouldn't you? Alright, see what that does. I might come down here and try to cast it a little further. Did that bell go off? I'm going to slip and slide down this hill. So I went right back out there to check my line just to see. And there's a whole bunch of snags. So there's a whole bunch of wood or something right here. So I'm going to switch this pyramid sinker out. I actually did end up breaking the hook off, but the leader for the weight stayed. So I am going to switch this out. So I'm going to throw this 2-ounce weight on here. Alright, let's get this chili going. Stewing my meat in a little cast iron over the fire. So I'll stew that up with the onions and the garlic. I'm going to do this semi-chunky. Since I'm doing stew meat, might as well make the rest of it sort of chunky. Onions, we'll add a little garlic to that. Go get the stew meat. Throw that right in there. Sort of brown all this up at once. And then I'll add the tomatoes and everything else. So I did cut a little notch in a stick here. Of course, it's too short for that, but it will help me to spin this. Let me modify this. Alright, maybe now we can get down in there. Alright, let's add the rest of the stuff to it. Make sure if you're going to be doing stuff camping, get the pop tops. A lot easier if you don't have a can opener. Drain off most of that bean juice there. Throw those in. Diced tomatoes. Should have brought a bigger cast iron pot. I may let that cook down a little bit and then add more tomatoes. It's going to be pretty meaty though. Don't think I'm going to add any water to it either. There's quite a bit of liquid in there, but I'm going to add some of this chili seasoning. Probably good. Then a quick stir. Need to grab a ladle for camp too. This MSR spatula sucks. It's super flimsy. It's going to be more of a chili stew, I think, but smells amazing. Alright. Get that back on the fire. Almost forgot, I got some jalapenos to add. chili's been stewing for a couple hours now. Just bubbling away. She's about done, and I'm starving. I forgot cheese, but I did get some sour cream. I'm gonna have 2 or 3 bowls of this. Give it a try. And that's slamming. Hot. That meat cooked down nicely. So I had this on there for like 2.5 hours. Even though it was stew meat, it was pretty tender. Oh, forgot the hot sauce. Got some Chipotle Cholula. Alright, let's give that a try. It's actually better without the hot sauce. I'm going to finish this up and probably have seconds or thirds. Right now it's 50 in here and 44 outside. So I probably will kick the heater on and just set the thermostat at like 60. Another bowl of goodness. So the first time I went camping in here, I took the girls and I picked up the cheapest TV from Walmart, and the campground we went to had Wi-Fi, so it's a smart TV or a Roku TV, and so that was fine. They could watch their movies or whatever. This time, obviously, I have no cell signal at all, no Wi-Fi, but I did pick up the cheapest router that Walmart had, and I'm going to try to hook it up to my laptop and create a wireless network, and then hopefully I can stream from my laptop to the TV. That's the idea anyway. Create my own little network here. So we're going to get this hooked up and see if that actually works. I couldn't get the TV streaming to work because the TV needs an update, and of course I don't have Wi-Fi to do that, so I'll play around with that at home and hopefully get it working for the next time. I did shut the curtains on that side just to keep the heat on this side, and I have a fan that's blowing air towards me, so when the furnace does kick on, it blows the warm air over towards my bed. I'm going to turn on a movie on the laptop here, eat some cookies, and climb in for the night. Morning, guys. I slept pretty good. The heater definitely ran on and off throughout the night. I had it set at 65, and it did get cold last night. According to my temperature, it got down to a low of 32, and it's currently 34, and it's 60 in here. I had the fan running all night, the cooler running all night. Let's check our power here. We still have 12 hours worth of power. Looks like it's gonna be a beautiful morning with some sun. One thing I did notice is my bait is gone. I left the stinky bait down there. There are bears up here and other critters, so it was sitting right there. And now it's gone, so I'll have to see if I can find that. Didn't get any jingles on the pole that I know of, but I'll go check that too, and then I'm going to get a fire going and get some breakfast going. Did some checking, and I do see the bags down there, so I'm going to have to somehow grab those and see if there's anything left. Got down there and pulled the trash out of the river, and this bag's all torn up. Probably a raccoon. One of the nice things about having a truck with a tailgate is that you have a platform to work on and cook on, and I use it quite a bit. I was looking for a good tailgate insert because the inserts that usually come on tailgates are corrugated and they're slippery. And some of the ones that they make are more like cutting boards and they get real slippery. This one's got a foam, a real high density foam to it. This one's from Billy Bars. It's got cup holders on both sides, and I really, really like it. I've used it quite a bit. I actually use it for cooking quite often, so I set my stove up here and grab a gas bottle. And then this is what I'm going to be cooking on this morning. Good old Walmart bacon kind of fell apart there, but we'll be all right. So if you guys are looking for a really good camp knife, I've been using this lately. It is the Messermeister Overland Chef. It's made in Italy. I've been trying to build up my camp cooking with some really good knives. They make a larger one of this, which hopefully I will get to, but really, really nice knife, really well made, super sharp, works great. I'll put the specs and a link below to this if you guys want to check that out. Beautiful handle on it. And a really nice blade. Alright, bacon's almost done, so time for some eggs. Slam it. Alright, time to tidy up camp a little bit. I'm thinking about staying another night because I've got plenty of firewood. What I don't think I have is propane. So I may go try to fill my propane tank because it is supposed to get really cold tonight. So I may go for a little drive. I might get some more bait too and then try a different setup for catfishing. And I gotta check the weather because I don't have any signal here, so I'm gonna go for a little drive, but first Gonna get camp all cleaned up. Also gonna grab my power bank here. I still have 12 hours left on it, which is fine. Now that it's colder outside, the fridge isn't running as much either. But I'm gonna hook this in the car and give it a little boost. Still got a little bit in there. I think I started with about a third and it's down to about a quarter now. So I'm gonna go get that filled. I've got the EcoFlow hooked up to the vehicle so we can get a little bit of juice as I drive. This is another really cool camp spot. Fire pit over there. And you've got the other side of the river. Pretty big drop off there. Oh, they have steps. That's pretty cool. A lot of these trees must have come down last week when we had that really big windstorm. There's trees all over back here. Look at all these trees down over here. One's blocking the road. Yeah, a few trees snapped over there. Hope nobody was camping at the time. I don't know if you can get into that other site. Oh yeah. Only good thing about trees coming down is there's lots of firewood. This is a great spot too. You can walk right down. It's like deer tracks, yep, deer tracks. This might be where I stay next time I come. Easily throw a pole out there. Definitely some super narrow tracks back in here. These roads go forever. Definitely gonna have to come back and explore all these trails. But before I do, I want recovery boards and a winch. It'd suck to get stuck way out here. Got my propane filled, so I'm going to hook that back up and get the heat back going. It's currently 39 outside and 46 in here. I'm going to get this fire going again and then build up some coals, and I think I'm going to warm up some of that chili for lunch. Left it in the car all night and it was pretty cold, so should be okay. I'm making this again for sure. And it's so good without anything even on it. No sour cream, no hot sauce, no cheese. It's spicy enough with the jalapenos. Nice and chunky. Well, unfortunately, I got back, hooked the propane tank back up, and it's not working for whatever reason. The fan is blowing and I can hear the pilot starting to light or trying to light, but there's nothing but cold air coming out. Well, that's a bummer. I'll have to figure that out, but that's kind of the point of these trips, is just to test everything out. It's a new camper to me, so, but I think everything's fine with the regulator and the heater. I think something's up with that propane tank, and I don't have an extra. Now I do have cold weather gear in the deck here. I do have a cold weather sleeping bag, but I think I'm gonna be back in another week or so, and so I kind of want to just get home and figure out what's wrong with the heater and get that fixed. I have another propane tank at home, so I'm going to just throw that on when I get home, and hopefully that works, and hopefully it's just something up with that propane tank. He was having issues when he was filling it with the customer before me, so I don't know what the deal was, but doesn't seem to be any pressure, doesn't seem to be any propane going to the heater, and it also doesn't seem to be all the way full, and I paid for it to get full, so that's a bummer. Alright guys, well, I'm all packed up, almost ready to go, and right as I was getting done closing the pop-up, another camper came by, and I told him about the propane. He said just turn the stove on and let the line bleed, which probably will work. So I was already pretty packed up, so I am going to head home, but I am going to try that out when I get home, and hopefully that's all it is. But I appreciate you guys watching the video to the end. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up and subscribe for more videos.